you get to like sample the beer, so it's quite fun, right? For adults.
Oh no, especially if everybody's plunging their faces into the same fountain to drink from. That's like, that's basically like...
I don't know. I don't think it would be as, unsanitary as that.
Yeah.
The individual spouts where you can like get a cup, I think, like any decent person would pay the money and then just, pull a lever or something, get some beer. So just imagine, there would be one spout or maybe 10 for Tiger beer, and there will be some for Anchor, and then for, I suppose, the other beers, and all the local beers.
Yeah, and you go around with a cup and it's like a tasting session. But this is for decent people, of course. Neither you nor I would qualify as decent people, so I really don't think this is a good idea for Singapore. Who are you going to bring this to? STB?
Anybody. It's a commercial, purely commercial, in commercial terms. If we were talking in those terms, right, it would be fun. Of course, you would have to
be a great attraction.
It would be.
We might bankrupt them between the two of us, but yeah.
Not if we buy some shares first. We are shareholders, right?
Not if we build the thing.
Yeah, and it only costs, let me see, 170,000 euros. So that's about, actually more than that.
300.
That's half the amount that I think half the total bill for construction. The council will foot that half. So total would be about 340 euros, which would be about 500 over 1,000.
That's it. I'm not saving for my house anymore.
Yeah.
This is what I'm investing in.
Yeah.
I could live on this.
I think so. Both of us could, right?
Yeah.
Retire rich.
Okay. Joint adventure between Eugene Low and Daphne Lim. Also, the two people who are going to bring you your news, if you can trust it, over the next half an hour.
The LTA traffic news on 938 Live.
And let's check on the road closure still happening. East Coast Park Service Road between Car Park F3 and Car Park H. It is closed to traffic due to some urgent roadworks there. Also, we have a stationary vehicle on the BKE towards PIE. That's before the SLE exit. This is the news on 938 Live with Daphne Lim and Eugene Low, and making the headlines at 4 p.m. South Korea shuts its joint industrial complex with North Korea in retaliation for Pyongyang's rocket launch, and the number of dengue cases fall, but still much higher than usual. Up ahead in business news, U.S. oil prices tumble below $27 a barrel. Details next on 938 Live.
Dozens of South Korean trucks are returning from across the North Korean border laden with equipment and goods from the Kaesong industrial complex. This comes after Seoul suspended operations there as punishment for North Korea's weekend rocket launch. It will also cut off water and power supplies. Business owners in the complex say they were given little notice of the government's decision. Professor John McKay is co-founder of Analysis International from Melbourne. He tells us what kind of impact the closure of the industrial complex will have in North Korea.
While the Kaesong complex is important for North Korea, it's not that important. There are 124 South Korean companies there employing about 54,000 workers. The average annual wage bill is in the region of 100 to 120 million US dollars per year. We know that money is paid over in hard currency in US dollars. It doesn't go directly to the workers. They're paid only a very small proportion of that wage, and the rest of the money is pocketed by the North Korean government. So $100 million is not enough to change the behavior of North Korea.
At home, a total of 530 dengue cases were reported last week, 95 cases fewer than the previous week, but still much higher than usual. That's according to the latest figures on the National Environment Agency website. 93 Live's Abel Hong tells us more.
The NEA said over 3,100 dengue cases have been reported in Singapore since the start of the year. 2 people, a 47-year-old man living in Marsiling Rise and a 67-year-old man living in Topayo, have died of the disease so far. The NEA warned that there's been an increase in the Aedes mosquito population, with warmer than usual weather shortening the breeding and maturation cycles of the mosquitoes, as well as